Hi there, Nash here. Let's talk about Arnold's diet. Again, there is a reason why I want to talk about Arnold again and his diet. The main reason is that nowadays people are eating very differently, and for that reason they are ending up looking very differently than Arnold used to look. We know that from different videos or books, Arnold talks a little bit about nutrition, but never too much. And he would suggest that he was eating like 5 meals a day. 3 of them will be meals, and then 2 of them will be protein shakes. But I think, and also from what I know, from the sources of his information about the diet, the main sources, his main experience about right diet for bodybuilding, and also from other people who trained with him, who knew him personally, that I met and I came across, Arnold was actually favoring the diet high in protein and relatively high in fat, low in carbohydrates. So basically, year round, Arnold would eat a bit of carbs, baked potatoes, maybe a bit of rice, but that wouldn't be in every meal. That would be usually after the workout. Now, what I'm talking about and what I want to talk about is his diet for getting in shape, or actually diet before the competition. So how did he do it? We know that Arnold trained twice a day. We also know that Arnold didn't do cardio, or just a little bit of swimming. So training twice a day without any cardio, getting in shape, that for his time was absolutely revolutionary, not having an access to so many chemicals, fat burning powerful chemicals that people are using today, Arnold will still end up in an amazing shape. We know that, we can see that he was probably the most defined bodybuilder on the stage in his days, next to obviously Serge Nubret, and I will be talking about Serge Nubret in my next videos. So what kind of diet Arnold actually followed in these days? Now again, let's go back to the sources. Arnold learned how to train and how to eat from his first coach, famous Vince Gironda, known as I Am Guru. Vince Gironda was known to put his clients on very simple diet. In his book Unleash the Wild Physique, he calls that diet the ultra cut diet. That diet is made actually of 3 meals. So meal 1 would be any type of meat and boiled eggs, unlimited, basically eat as much as you can. Meal 2 would be the same as meal 1. Meal 3 will be the same as meal 1 and 2. So every meal is the same. Any type of meat and boiled eggs. Eat as much as you want. So basically that was the diet that allowed his clients, one of them famous McAfee, who was absolutely ripped, one of the best bodybuilders in the day, and Arnold and others, to get in an amazing shape without doing any cardio. Vince Gironda didn't want to use that word. Anything but weight training for him was forbidden, right? Now Vince would advise his clients to eat after the first workout, so training on empty stomach, first meal, then few hours later, second meal, then the evening workout, and then the last meal of the day, and that would be it. So very straightforward, very basic. So if you look at what meat and eggs, he didn't say chicken breast, he didn't say white fish, he didn't say fat-free this, fat egg whites or anything like that. No, it would be any type of meat and eggs. So this type of diet is obviously high protein, relatively high in fat, no carbohydrates. I suspect that Arnold was following that type of diet most of the time throughout his career before the competition. So some 3 to 4 months before the show, Arnold will start doing that. Now we also know that Vince Gironda would advise his clients to eat one meal, only one meal, every fourth day, and that meal should be made of pure carbohydrates, let's say just big bowl of pasta, in order to replenish carbohydrates. Sorry, to replenish glycogen with carbohydrates. So Arnold was probably following that as well. So every 3 to 4 days he would have one meal high in carbohydrates, in order to replenish his glycogen stores. Now, a lot of people call that diet ketogenic diet, but this is not ketogenic diet. This is something very different. Ketogenic diet, and I will be talking about it in one of my next videos, is very different. It's 70% fat, 30% protein. This diet that Arnold was following, which obviously was invented by Gironda, is the diet which is around 60-70% protein, 30-40% fat. This is a different type of diet, and I call this diet gluconeogenic diet. I will explain in my next video what is that all about, but this is not ketogenic diet, because I don't believe that ketogenic diet will work for bodybuilders. So the bottom line is that Arnold's diet was predominantly made of meat and eggs. Maybe some vegetables, occasionally carbohydrates, maybe 1 meal in every 3 to 4 days. 3-4 meals a day. I don't think that Arnold was taking protein shakes before the show. Firstly, because protein powders in those days were so bad that, I don't know, whoever would try them would probably forget about them the next day, because you would have such a stomach upset. They didn't have whey protein powders, whey isolate, whey concentrate, hydrolyzed whey, etc. They didn't have that. Protein powders in those days were simply made of full-fat milk, maybe 1 or 2 raw eggs, 1 or 2 scoops of soya protein or milk protein, some sweetener, and that's it. But that would be very hard to digest. So Arnold, you probably had some of those in the off-season, but before the show that will all go. So what do we do today? Our bodybuilders, most of the people today, eat 5, 6, 7 times a day. Every meal has to have some amount of carbohydrates. Fat is minimal, and protein is usually between 40 to 50 grams per meal. In order to get away with the diet, people have to do an hour or 2 hours of cardio every day, because the diet is so high in carbohydrates that is making you fat all the time. So you have to burn energy, because you're putting too much very different energy, very easily transformed into body fat, and this is energy that comes from carbohydrates in your diet. Arnold never have extended guts. Arnold never had bloated stomach. Every double biceps shot Arnold would do in the past would be with his abdominal muscle literally sucked into the spine. You won't see that today, and most of you guys probably have never seen that if you didn't watch old Mr. Olympias. If you watch Mr. Olympia 1975 pumping iron, and 1980, and then in 80s you will see most of the bodybuilders still having that small waist and vacuum kind of abdominals. That has changed from 90s, that has completely gone. But one of the main reasons for that is definitely the type of diet, which is low in carbohydrates, high in protein, and relatively high in fat. So I believe you got the message now, and if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.